With your permission, if we could commence. In the past 24 months, the Prime Minister of India has travelled abroad 38 times. It translates roughly into 1.5 trips per month. 38 times. While nobody is grudging the foreign travel of the Prime Minister, but what needs to be analysed is whether there have been any substantive gains for India, either diplomatically or strategically or economically, out of this much wanted travel around the globe. Let us begin by an analysis of the current foreign tour of the Prime Minister, which finished as of today morning. And unlike the Bharatiya Janata Party, we refrain from criticizing the Prime Minister when he is on foreign soil. The Prime Minister, unfortunately, does not follow that etiquette. The first stop during this visit was Afghanistan. If India has strategic interests in Afghanistan, then the real process which has been playing itself out is the negotiations which have been taking place between the government of Afghanistan and the Taliban. And this process has been midwifed by Pakistan, supported by the United States of America and China. India does not even have a ringside seat with regard to this process. What to talk of being at least an observer to the process? We do not even have a ringside seat in the process. And this has happened in the past 2 years. So while inaugurating friendship dams may be all right, but in substantive strategic terms, the NDA BJP government has ensured that India has become a complete bystander in Afghanistan. Insofar as the United States of America is concerned, in the past 24 months, there has not been a single new idea, a single big idea in the Indo-US relationship. The only one thread which the NDA BJP government and the Prime Minister have been taking forth is the Indo-US Civil Nuclear Energy Pact, which was incubated and finally consummated during the UPA government. It was an initiative which was taken to its final conclusion, to its very end, by a UPA government. And this Prime Minister, who has suddenly woken up to the virtues of civil nuclear energy, if I recall correctly, on the 12th of September 2008, while addressing the BJP National Executive, had stated that the Indo-US Civil Nuclear Agreement is a sellout. It compromises India's national security. So therefore, between 2008 and 2016, there seems to be a sudden change of heart. And what was a national security threat in 2008 has now become the biggest swan song of both the Prime Minister and his government. Insofar as Switzerland is concerned, except for platitudes on some exchange of information in the future with regard to black money, there is nothing substantive which has come out of that visit. Mexico, the fact that the Prime Minister stayed there for 4 hours is indicative of the attention which this government is paying to Latin America and South America, which are substantive players now in the global arena. And with Qatar, India has a relationship which goes back in time, and even there it's been a continuation of the groundwork which the UPA had put in place. But the most amusing comment on the Prime Minister's foreign visit actually came from the BJP president. He said that if India becomes a part of the missile technology control regime, we will become a major arms exporter. So when I read the statement today in the paper, I thought it could have been a misquote. But then I went back and checked, and it wasn't a misquote. Possibly the BJP needs to understand that the missile technology control regime is about controlling proliferation of missiles. It is not about making a country into a net arms exporter. So this is the limited understanding which the BJP and its president unfortunately have about international affairs. But expanding the scope of the Prime Minister's analysis, or the analysis of the Prime Minister's visit, insofar as Pakistan is concerned, this government does not know whether it is coming or going. It has swung from the sublime to the ridiculous. One day you have engagement, the other day you have non-engagement. One day the Prime Minister hops into Lahore, the other day he and his government are back to abusing Pakistan. There is absolutely no consistency in the past 24 months, far less a strategy or tactics when it comes to dealing with Pakistan. China, which is an extremely crucial and a sensitive relationship for India, has never been so belligerent in the past 29 years, ever since late Prime Minister Mr. Gandhi broke the ice with China in 1987. Never ever in the past almost 3 decades, China has taken such an overtly hostile position to India, whether on the question of the nuclear suppliers group or even getting the Jaish-e-Mohammed and Maulana Masood Azhar labeled as terrorist entities. Russia, which was India's most trusted strategic ally over all these decades, has now for the past 2 years been talking about equivalence between India and Pakistan. With the European Union, there is absolute stagnation. There is no progress on the free trade agreement. So therefore, if you were to sum up and look at the Prime Minister and this government's foreign policy in a comprehensive perspective over the past 2 years, India has neither gained diplomatically, India has neither gained strategically, India has neither gained economically, and India has neither gained militarily. The sum total of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's foreign visits and foreign policy initiatives is unfortunately a big zero. The floor is all yours, or do you want to repeat in Hindi on this?
As regards Switzerland and Mexico, after all, India got their support during Prime Minister's visit for India's entry into the nuclear club, NSD. And US also, Prime Minister got US to reinforce his commitment to support India's entry into NSD. Plus, then Prime Minister got the opportunity to address
Clear that the NSG operates on the process of consensus. Even if one country objects to the entry of a new member, that country unfortunately does not get included. The manner in which this government has conducted its foreign policy over the past 2 years, rather than consolidating that window which was opened by the UPA, they have in fact endeavored to close that window. And that is why, unfortunately, when the NSG met last night on the question of admission of new members, essentially to consider India's application, nothing really came out of that meeting. And so in real terms, it has really been a setback for India rather than something to be proud of. Insofar as addressing the US Congress is concerned, yes, of course, if the Prime Minister of India addresses any parliament, it is something which is always noteworthy. But I would like to caveat that by saying that Prime Minister Modi is not the first Prime Minister of India who has addressed the US Congress. देखिए, हरियाणा में कल राज्यसभा का चुनाव है और श्री आर के आनंद कांग्रेस का समर्थन लेने के लिए आए थे और उन्होंने ये कहा कि कांग्रेस अध्यक्षा, कांग्रेस उपाध्यक्ष, कांग्रेस की नीतियों में उनका पूरा विश्वास है और राज्यसभा के बाहर और राज्यसभा के अंदर वो कांग्रेस का समर्थन करेंगे। उसके बाद विधानमंडल दल की बैठक हुई और तो हरियाणा का कांग्रेस विधानमंडल दल श्री आर के आनंद का राज्यसभा के चुनाव में समर्थन करेगा। There's nothing to repeat in this here. You can carry it. I mean, come on. Well, as I have explained in very great detail, Shri R.K. Anand came and sought the support of the Congress party. He expressed his faith in the leadership of the Congress president, the Congress vice president, the policies of the Congress party. He said that he would support the Congress both inside the Rajya Sabha as well as outside. The Congress Legislative Party of Haryana met. A one-line resolution was passed, leaving the entire matter to the Congress President. And after taking the totality of circumstances into account, it was felt that in order to defeat the BJP, to keep the BJP at bay, it would perhaps be appropriate to support Shri R.K. Anand in the Rajya Sabha election tomorrow. And so therefore, the Haryana legislative party, the Congress Legislative Party of Haryana, will support Shri R.K. Anand in his bid for the Rajya Sabha tomorrow. One second, I'll just...
Sources reveal that Rajnath Singh is going to be a likely uptake of same candidate. Now the question is here that will you project Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi as same candidates?
Well, the one thing which spokespersons are taught is not to respond to hypothetical situations. So I cannot, with all due respect, be responding to a source-based report. Yeah. Well, we remain confident that both in Karnataka as well as in Uttar Pradesh, the Congress will triumph. We have ensured that ideologically and politically we are able to convey our message to the Electoral College in both these states. And come tomorrow evening, we do hope that both in Karnataka and as well as in Uttar Pradesh, we do emerge victorious. Just one second. Aida aa raha hu. Well, once again, the question is based upon a lot of hypotheses. So therefore, for me to respond to a question based upon that if the BJP does that, will the Congress do this, I don't think is a fair equivalence. So therefore, the Congress has its own strategy with regard to Uttar Pradesh, and when the time comes, we will unveil that strategy. Our strategy does not really depend upon what the opposition does or what any other political party does. You know, what the BJP decides to do or not do is their business, or what any other political party decides to do is their business. Insofar as the Congress party is concerned, we have a strategy, and that strategy would be unveiled at the appropriate time. Well, as I said, that we do have a strategy, and that strategy would be unrolled at on an appropriate occasion. देखिए, ऐसा है कि मुझे इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं है. आप इसको मेरे संज्ञान में लेके आए हैं, मैं ज़रूर मालूमात करके और जो भी उचित प्रतिक्रिया बनती होगी वो आपके समक्ष रखूंगा. देखिए, झारखंड में जो कांग्रेस के विधायकों के साथ हो रहा है, वो जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के शासित राज्य हैं और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जो रणनीति है कि जो राजनीतिक प्रतिद्वंदी हैं उनको सरकारी तंत्र के से दबाया जाए, झारखंड में भी वैसा ही किया जा रहा है. कांग्रेस के दो विधायक हैं, श्रीमती निर्मला देवी और श्री देवेंद्र सिंह, जिनके ऊपर राजनीतिक आंदोलनों में भाग लेने के तहत कुछ फौजदारी के मुकदमे बने हैं. और झारखंड की पुलिस सरकार के निर्देश के ऊपर उनको प्रताड़ित कर रही है, उनके घर पे छापे मारे जा रहे हैं. और इस सब का मकसद सिर्फ एक है कि किसी तरह से उनको कल वोट देने से रोका जाए. तो झारखंड के जो प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी है वो जरूर इस मामले को उच्च न्यायालय के पास लेके जाएगी. और हमने भी चुनाव आयोग से समय मांगा है, और अगर चुनाव आयोग समय देता है आज, तो हम ये सारी जो बात है वो चुनाव आयोग के समक्ष रखेंगे कि किस तरह से विधायकों को प्रताड़ित किया जा रहा है, उन लोकतंत्र की हत्या की जा रही है, उनको अपने मत का प्रयोग करने से रोका जा रहा है, और ये पूरी तरह से सरकारी तंत्र का दुरुपयोग है। One second. Well, the Election Commission, Nandita, has taken a correct decision. And the reason is that the law mandates that once an electoral process is set in motion, the electoral process is not countermanded. And the correct and the appropriate method of alleviating a grievance with regard to an electoral process which has been set in motion really lies in an election petition. So therefore, till that point in time, the Election Commission in its wisdom does not feel that a process has been vitiated to an extent whereby a countermanding becomes essential. The Election Commission has taken the correct and appropriate legal course which is laid down in law.
At the same time, Election Commission in its order has also expressed serious concern, and it has even decided to ask the authorities for a CBI probe, and even your party, which is the ruling party, is accused of indulging in horse trading.
Well, the Election Commission has made a recommendation that the matter should be probed by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Unfortunately, the Central Bureau of Investigation is today a captive Bureau of Investigation. It is the Communal Bureau of Investigation. It specializes in command performances. We would have wished that if the Election Commission actually wanted a fair and impartial probe, they should have ordered an inquiry by a sitting judge of the High Court. Unfortunately, the manner in which the CBI and the other government instrumentalities are being misused and abused by the NDA BJP government, it has no parallel and no precedence. ये सरकार पे निर्भर करता है। कई बार इस बात को दोहराया गया है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी ने 3 मांगे सरकार के समक्ष रखी हैं, आप उन मांगों को मान लीजिए, बिल पारित हो जाएगा। क्योंकि पिछले 24 महीने में सरकार ने जिस अहंकार और अज्ञानता का प्रदर्शन किया है, जो एक उत्कृष्ट सम्मिश्रण बनाया है अज्ञानता और अहंकार का, वो एक संसदीय प्रणाली में कोई तरीका नहीं है विपक्ष से समर्थन मांगने का। संसदीय प्रणाली की ये प्रथा है कि सरकार विपक्ष से बातचीत करने की कोशिश करती है, और सरकार का यह रवैया नहीं रहना चाहिए जिसको अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं कि माई वे और दी हाईवे। और इस सरकार का पिछले 24 महीने में यही रवैया रहा है। देखिए, जहां तक हमारी जानकारी है, सरकारी नौकरी प्राप्त करने के लिए ये जरूरी होता है कि आप किसी भी राजनीतिक संगठन से ताल्लुक ना रखें। अब अगर राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ या सरकार की तरफ से यह तर्क आता है कि राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ एक राजनीतिक संगठन नहीं है, एक सांस्कृतिक संगठन है, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि कोई उस तर्क को मानने के लिए तैयार है। तो इसलिए चाहे जमायत इस्लामी हो, चाहे राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ हो, ये दोनों राजनीतिक संगठन है और एक विचारधारा को लेकर ये आगे बढ़ते हैं, और वो विचारधारा भारत का जो धर्मनिरपेक्ष संविधान है उसके 4 खानों में फिट नहीं होता। तो इसलिए ये जो सरकार ने फैसला किया है या सरकार फैसला करने जा रही है, इसके बहुत दूरगामी परिणाम हो सकते हैं और इसके ऊपर सरकार को पुनर्विचार करना चाहिए। और कांग्रेस पार्टी भी जब संसद का सत्र शुरू होगा, इसके ऊपर एक उचित विचार बनाकर संसद के समक्ष अपनी बात रखेगी। देखिए, मुझे इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं है। सिब्बल साहब का नंबर आप सबके पास है, बेहतर ये रहेगा कि आप उनसे दूरभाष मिलाकर बात कर लें, वो आपके सवाल का उचित जवाब दे देंगे। मैं इसीलिए कह रहा हूं, मुझे इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं है। जब तक मैं जानकारी प्राप्त करके आपको दूंगा तो शायद आपकी टाइमलाइन निकल जाएगी। तो बेहतर ये रहेगा कि आप उन्हीं से जानकारी ले लें, बेहतर जानकारी और लेटेस्ट जानकारी वो आपको दे देंगे। थैंक यू।